graduate programs in the College of Liberal and Professional Studies at the University of Pennsylvania. Thanks for joining us today. I hope everybody can hear me. So the Bachelor of Arts degree through the College of Liberal and Professional Studies is really geared for the adult student population. Typically, our students have taken a break in their education and they're planning to return to college. They may be currently enrolled at another institution and are looking to transfer into Penn. For those of you that may not be familiar with all of the cool things at the University of Pennsylvania, we were established in 1749 as America's first university. There are 12 professional schools and 4 undergraduate schools at Penn. The School of Arts and Sciences is the largest of the undergraduate schools at Penn. There are students in the College of Arts and Sciences that's really geared for the traditional undergraduate student that marches through their BA degree in 4 years, and the College of Liberal and Professional Studies that awards the same BA degree really caters to the adult student population, many of whom are working adults or career changers that have maybe left employment and are going to school full-time with the intention of changing their career. In terms of the 12 professional schools at Penn, just to give you an example of some of the different professional schools, we have a medical school, law school, School of Social Policy and Practice, Annenberg School of Communications, the School of Design, Graduate School of Education. Those are just a few examples. You'll find that the focus at Penn is on innovative teaching and research, and many of our undergraduates in the College of Liberal and Professional Studies are very interested in doing research with faculty, and they have the opportunity to do that here in a number of ways. Many of you have also probably read that we're consistently ranked in the top 10 in U.S. News and World Report. We are one of 3 divisions in the School of Arts and Sciences. The other 2 are the College of Arts and Sciences and the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences. We offer flexible scheduling options for adult students. Our students attend full-time and part-time. At this point in time, about 60% of our students attend part-time and 40% of our students attend full-time. We offer evening, daytime, and Saturday classes. We also have a limited number, but a growing number of online courses. We, in particular, offer a significant number of online courses in the summer session. What's unique about the College of Liberal and Professional Studies is that we have a dedicated student services and enrollment staff. So if you're looking to apply to LPS, you will be applying through the College of Liberal and Professional Studies, not through transfer admissions. So if you find yourself filling out the common application, that would not be for the application to the BA in the College of Liberal and Professional Studies. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later. We also have an experienced faculty. Our faculty are standing faculty at the University of Pennsylvania. They're also affiliated faculty and advanced PhD students who are Penn students. There are a vast array of campus resources that support the success of our students, both academically, culturally, and recreationally. I would encourage you to take a look at the Weingarten Learning Resource Center, the Counseling and Psychological Services, and the Tutoring Services. Just an example of the academic support services that are available here. In terms of the cultural opportunities here, you can take a look at the Vice Provost for University Life page that lists many of the organizations that are available on campus. And many of the activities that are here. Take a look at the Pottruck Recreational Center. It's a state-of-the-art facility that our students really enjoy and take advantage of. As I said, we have our own admissions process and enrollment staff and professional advisors that work at LPS who help shepherd you through your academic career. Again, if you're filling out the Common App, you're not applying to LPS, but you would be applying through transfer admissions. If you want to apply to LPS, you need to be on the LPS webpage filling out that application. Our students live on or off campus, so you're not required to live on campus as an LPS student, and actually that probably 80 to 90% of our students live off campus. There are a vast array of majors for BA students, more than 50 majors to choose from. This is just a sampling of the various majors. For those of you who need to complete your degree through evening-only attendance, you'll see that we offer English, Humanities, and Social Science as the degrees that can be completed through evening-only attendance. I want to feature the humanities major and the social science major, as they're both interdisciplinary programs, and really actually design your own degree programs within the curricular structure of the major. So for the humanities major, you are selecting 6 courses in a humanities discipline, and then an additional 4 courses for your secondary concentration, and then 4 additional courses spread across a variety of humanities disciplines. In terms of the social science major, you're taking 4 introductory social science courses in 5 different disciplines, and you're also then completing 3 clusters of 3 courses in 3 different social science disciplines. So depending upon what your interests are, you can really kind of create your own degree with either one of those majors. What we are not in the College of Liberal and Professional Studies is nursing, business, or engineering. And for students who would be interested in transferring into any of those schools, you would apply through transfer admissions. We do have business interested students who are often drawn to consider majors in economics, philosophy, politics, and econ, political science, and international relations if they choose to come to the College of Liberal and Professional Studies. I would encourage those of you who are interested in nursing, business, or engineering to familiarize yourself with the admissions profile and prerequisites on the transfer admission page, if that's the path that you choose. In terms of academic preparation, we encourage you to take liberal arts classes, and while these courses aren't guaranteed to transfer, I find that they're highly transferable from a variety of schools, and those would be all the introductory liberal arts courses. And this is really just a sampling of them. In terms of science courses, if you're a science major, you're really looking to take the principles courses in biology, chemistry, and physics. I would encourage you, if you start a sequence at a particular institution, like Biology 1 and 2, that you complete the sequence if possible. Sometimes it's not possible based upon your academic plan or your trajectory or how your degree resolves. And I'm happy to talk with people about what the best strategy for that is. For non-science majors, geology, oceanography, and earth science are also good courses to take because there are 2 general education requirements that you will need science type courses to fulfill, or that they would fulfill. In terms of the math recommendation, if you're in a highly quantitative major, or that's what you're looking at, and for Penn LPS, I would say that the highly quantitative majors are econ and any of the natural sciences, because econ is a calculus-based program that's really a preparation for anyone who would be interested in transitioning eventually to a PhD in economics. It's not the traditional econ major that deals with, say, supply and demand that we all learned in junior high school. So the econ major, anyone who's choosing econ would probably be just as happy as a math major. So it's a highly quantitative major. If you're interested in business, where many students would have an interest in econ, oftentimes they will consider the political science major with a political economy concentration, or international relations, or the philosophy, politics, and econ major. For the econ and natural sciences major, you should really expect to be calculus ready when you land here, because many of the courses that you're going to be required to take in econ are predicated upon the fact that you're calculus ready. In terms of your composition, we encourage you to take the composition 1 and 2 sequence wherever you are that most programs require. You typically are able to transfer that in as a free elective, because Penn has their own writing seminars that are going to be totally unlike the composition courses that you've taken. But I would say think of the composition 1 and 2 classes as the on-ramp to the writing seminars that you're going to take at Penn. And I strongly encourage you to complete the composition 1 and 2 sequence prior to landing here. In terms of foreign language, there is a foreign language requirement for the BA degree. You can test out if you have proficiency in a language, or if you have medium proficiency, you can certainly take a placement test and place into the appropriate level. The other option that you have, if you say test out or are able to test out, you can also choose to pick up a third language if that's something that would be attractive to you, and you have the option of talking with your LPS advisor about that. The other course that's also a good option is a statistics course. It may or may not transfer, but it's excellent preparation for one of the general education requirements, that is our quantitative data analysis requirement. And that requirement is one that we expect you to be able to reach conclusions based upon data. So statistics is a really good background course for that. Keep in mind that you're able to transfer in up to 50% of your degree requirements. So if you're looking at these courses here, they will not only prepare you to be here, but they're also going to be highly transferable. Here are some LPS student characteristics that we've seen over the years. Most students are going to be Phi Theta Kappa eligible or have participated in an honors program. It doesn't mean that you have to have participated in either one of them. Sometimes I find that adult students don't have access to honors courses in the evening if that's how they're pursuing their education. But these are some of the other characteristics that we find in our students. And I would say that as different as they are, the common thread that stitches them together is their intellectual curiosity. It's just kind of who they are. They really can't help it. The other piece to remember is that about 60% of our students transfer from community colleges. So they're coming in having done a significant amount of coursework. We also have GED recipients who have prior college work. For those of you that may have struggled initially right out of high school, maybe you weren't focused or didn't have the maturity to do well, or weren't really sure what you wanted to do and had a kind of a false start and didn't do well. And then you took a significant break in your education. Maybe you went into the workforce, went into the military, and now you're an academic rock star. We really, when we're evaluating your application, we're focusing on the most recent college work, and we want to see sustained achievement. The longer that you sustain that academic achievement, the more that strengthens your application. Because if you have maybe 6 courses that you took 10 years ago where you didn't do well, but now you've got 12 or 13 courses where you've done well, then you've really been able to demonstrate that you're a totally different student today. We also find that students who are high achiever in one area of their life are typically high achievers in all areas of their all areas of their life. They may be involved in their community. They may be excelling at work. For our military veterans, we find that they've oftentimes progressed through the ranks ahead of ahead of the time frame in which typically people would. And they're able to articulate in their essay why Penn is an exciting option for them to complete their degree. Okay, this is also a listing of previous professional work that LPS students have done. And like I said, they come from all different previous experiences. And I think probably one of the most interesting and enjoyable parts of my position is seeing LPS students when they gather together. And they really are chatterboxes. They're really very interested in not only what people are doing here and the classes that they're taking and maybe research in which they're involved, but also what their life was prior to coming to Penn. So you can see it really is a mixed bag of students, and that's what makes it all the more interesting. In terms of maximizing your transfer credits, I encourage you to save your course syllabi, because while you're not going to need them for your application, you're going to need them for your transfer credit evaluation. Like I said before, you really want to take courses in the liberal arts. If you have the opportunity to take honors courses or writing intensive courses, take the opportunity to do that. Also keep in mind, if you are taking courses that are non-liberal arts courses, in terms of them counting toward your degree here, there is a limit of 4 non-liberal arts classes that you're able to complete as part of your degree. For example, business majors may have difficulty transferring many of their business courses if they were taken at 2-year schools. And certainly no more than 4 business courses will be eligible to be counted towards your degree. So just kind of keep that in mind. The other courses that typically will not transfer are technical courses that may have been a part of an applied science degree at a community college, health and phys ed courses, and math courses below calculus will often not transfer. There are a couple of exceptions to that in terms of the math courses, and Penn doesn't consider statistics a math course. So when I'm talking about math courses below calculus, it's like intermediate algebra, trigonometry, those types of courses don't typically transfer. There are some math for liberal arts type classes that really are well-rounded and may transfer, but typically by and large, courses below calculus will not transfer. For those of you who may be from California, I would encourage you to follow the IGETC guidelines for the UC system. Those would be the preferred guidelines for you to follow. If you're at the community college and having to select a major, I would say the AA or the AS in liberal arts, other than California schools, are your best options. I would encourage you to take a broad range of liberal arts classes in preparation for coming to Penn. So you probably want to know how much this is all going to cost. Here is the listing of our tuition and fees. This is the tuition, the general fee, and the tech fee. And Penn is unique in that instead of calling them semester hours or credit hours, we call them course units. And one course unit is equivalent to a 3 or 4 credit course. So one course, say like an introduction to psychology course, would cost $34.84. If you were a full-time student taking 4 courses or 12 to 16 credits, the tuition total would be $15,433. And we are what we call an a la carte school, so you're not paying flat rate tuition if you are paying per course. So depending upon how many course units you take, that would give you your total tuition. in terms of financial aid, this is how it breaks down. For full-time students, we encourage you to fill out your FAFSA, your free application for federal student aid, which many of you, if you've been to school elsewhere, have probably already done that. Student Financial Services, that's SFS. Student Financial Services also has supplemental forms that they would require that you fill out on their webpage if you're interested in receiving some type of institutional grant. So for those who have financial need, they would, and have eligibility, they could be eligible for federal and state funding, depending upon what state you're from, loans, supplemental educational opportunity grant, which is federal money, potentially work study, and a small amount of institutional grant. The maximum amount of institutional grant that we would award this coming year would be about $6,900 a year. And that would be in addition to everything else that you may receive if you have financial eligibility. LPS students do not participate in the All Grant Initiative as the traditional undergrads do. So keep that in mind as well. For part-time students, again, you're filling out the free application for federal student aid, any supplemental forms through Student Financial Services, and financial need eligibility. If you have financial need eligibility, you would be eligible for potentially federal aid, maybe some prorated Pell Grant, and student loans. You would not be eligible for institutional grant or a supplemental educational opportunity grant. But you would also be eligible to apply for LPS scholarships. And you'll see that if you go to the LPS BA webpage, there is a list of scholarships for which you can apply. Not all scholarships are awarded every year. We do have a significant number of Bread Upon the Water scholarships that are for women over age 30 who attend school less than full-time and have financial need. The application is on the webpage and you can fill it out. We accept them all year round. Our largest intake for scholarship applications is for the fall semester. So you'll see that there's a scholarship application deadline on June 1. The important thing to remember is that the other variable costs that you may encounter, depending upon what your personal situation is, are housing and health insurance. Like I said before, that would be an additional cost on top of your tuition. Maybe you live in the Philadelphia area and someone else is financially supporting you and you have a roof over your head, so that's not a concern for you. The other concern would be health insurance. You're going to want to check with Student Health Services at Penn about the cost of health insurance if your current coverage does not meet the Penn standard. If you currently have health insurance, you can submit a waiver form. And if Penn evaluates it as meeting their Penn standard of their health insurance, then you would be able to waive out of the health insurance cost. For our military affiliated students, we work with GI benefits, and we also are a yellow ribbon school. We offer a $10,000 match, and we have 50 slots for LPS undergrads. And we are nowhere near having them filled, so I encourage veterans all the time to apply because we do have available yellow ribbon slots at the graduate and undergraduate level through the College of Liberal and Professional Studies. This is the information on the school certifying official. You're going to want to submit your certificate of eligibility through the Office of the University Registrar. They are also the office that works with the third-party pay with your GI benefits, and they work with the VA to make sure that you're receiving your benefits. Scholarship information. Okay, you must be enrolled less than full-time, and basically that means anything less than 4 course units. You need to be an admitted student and be working toward your first BA degree. So if you're a second BA degree recipient, you wouldn't be eligible for a scholarship. You can see what the application deadlines. It is highly competitive. The only scholarship that we would consider somebody who is attending more than part-time would be the Nieberle Scholarship, which is a scholarship for graduates of a Catholic high school. You can read more about that on the LPS webpage. Scholarship awardees receive 2 course units of LPS tuition, tech, and gen fee credit for the fall, spring, and summer semester. So the good news is if your intention was to initially attend full-time, what I've seen students do is they will reduce their course load and take 3 courses in the spring, 2 courses in the summer, and 3 classes in the fall. They're eligible for the scholarship. The scholarship will pay 2 course units of tuition in the spring. They pay for 1 course unit out of pocket. The scholarship pays the 2 course units that they're taking in the summer, and then for the fall semester, they're taking 3 CUs again, and the scholarship will pay for 2, and they're paying for 1 out of pocket. So they're receiving a scholarship for 6 CUs, they're paying out of pocket for 2 CUs, and they're completing 8 CUs a year. So it is as if they're going full-time as a fall and spring student. So it's just another option to consider. Application tips. Start early. And we really want to hear, in terms of your essay, we want to hear your story in your own voice. There's not some magical essay that you need to put together. We just really want to hear what you have to say. Follow the directions. I know that sounds basic. If you've had difficult semesters or an academic path challenge, talk about it in your essay. I would encourage you not to spend the entire essay talking about your academic difficulties, but at least explain it very briefly, and then move on and talk about what your current goals are and where you plan to go in the future. It's very important that you include all previous transcripts. I've had students who've tried to omit less than stellar old transcripts, and probably the toughest conversation that I have to have with students is when we dismiss them from the program for omission of transcripts, because it's an integrity issue. As I said before, we're really much more focused on how you're performing today and not what you did 10 or 20 years ago when you were first out of high school, typically. And another important thing is to identify and prepare your recommenders. Probably the thing that delays the completion of most applications more than anything is waiting for the recommenders, the recommendation letters to come in. So I would encourage you to give your recommenders a resume. Give them a personal statement that talks a little bit about what your goals are and what your plans are and why you want to come to Penn, because that's going to make it a whole lot easier for them to write you an excellent recommendation letter. And also give them time and give them a deadline. It's difficult. Typically, if you're asking someone to write a recommendation letter, they're probably having to write them for other people as well. So be respectful of their time, but give them a deadline, because that will help them help you, and it will give them a time frame in which they need to deliver this for you. And who should be a recommender? Really, it should be somebody who can attest to your potential to do excellent work in a rigorous environment. It's more important that they know you rather than you trying to dazzle us with somebody that has an important title that really doesn't know who you are. I find that a lot of the best letters of recommendation come from previous faculty members. If you're a veteran, it's from your executive officer or your platoon commander. It could be an employer. It could be a combination of people. But you really want somebody who can speak to your accomplishments and your ability to thrive in an academically rigorous environment. Oh, and I'm sorry, and a resume is required as well. Yes. And please, on your resume, you really want to include your education and your previous employment. Sometimes people are reluctant to include employment that they think, for whatever reason, sounds unprofessional. Um, so I would encourage you to include all of your employment, because it makes you the person that you are today. No one's judging your resume on your employment. We're really fascinated to see the interesting things that students have done previously. So here are the important dates. July 1st is the fall application deadline. The priority deadline is March 1st. And I really do encourage students to submit by the priority deadline in any term in which they're planning to apply, because it allows you to get financial aid information and your transfer credit evaluation done early. And this is especially important if people are relocating from a distance, because it just kind of gives you time to compare what your data points look like here versus other institutions, so that you're making the best decision for yourself, that you're considering what the transfer credit situation looks like, how many courses are you going to have to complete your degree at Penn, what those costs look like, and how that compares to what the other opportunities that you may have at other institutions, so that you really are able to make your best decision. You'll see the other application deadlines here. I would encourage people who are planning to start full-time that they not start full-time in a summer session, because it's very difficult to create a full-time schedule that will position you for success in the summertime. If you're an international student, the deadlines may be earlier, especially given the delays in securing a visa. And you'll be able to see more information about that on the LPS BA webpage. So here are the next steps. You will submit your online application, and this is going to include your essay. Keep in mind that your essay, there's 3 prompted questions for your essay. And the first question talks about, have you ever had any academic conduct issues? Have you had to leave, did you withdraw from school? Have you had any academic difficulty? The second question talks about, what's been your educational trajectory? And the third question talks about, what does it look like for you to when you settle in your first semester at Penn? All 3 essays together should be about 750 words. Now, we're not counting words. We're not dumping it into Word and oh, this person went over 2 words. What we can tell though is whether you've written 200 words and whether you've written 3,000 words. And I would say if you're writing 750 or 800 or 900 or 680, we really can't tell the difference of that, and nobody's really monitoring that. But it really is crystal clear if you've written 3,000 words. And then it demonstrates that you're not able to, number one, follow directions, and that you're not able to edit yourself down to meet the requirements that were requested. So I would say don't get nervous about, a few words over, a few words under. Again, we're not counting words, but just keep in mind that we want you to be able to condense and write to what the essentially assignment is. It is also important that you answer all 3 questions. I've also seen students in the past that will take whatever the admissions essay that they've used for the common application and just upload that kind of ignores the essay prompts that we've requested. So just kind of be mindful of that. I would also, so you want to remind your recommenders, you want to give them the structure and give them the information that will make it easy for them to support you in their letter writing. Most importantly, give them a deadline. Periodically check your application status online, because it'll let you know what you have that's outstanding, that you still need to submit to complete your application, because we will not be acting on your application until your application is complete. The other very, very important thing is if you're sending your transcript, an official transcript, which you only need to use unofficial transcripts for the application process. But if you're offered admission and you decide to accept it and you're sending your official transcripts to Penn, you want to make sure that you're sending them to the LPS admissions office at 3440 Market Street, because otherwise you may need to order them multiple times, because they may end up in undergraduate admissions with 37,000 other transcripts. So you really want to make sure that you're very directive when you request your official transcripts at that point in time. Remember, if your intention is to apply to LPS, you will not be filling out the common application. You want to go to the LPS BA webpage and fill out the application that's there. And if you have additional questions, we're happy to answer them for you. You can send them off via email to lps@sas.upenn.edu. Or if you'd prefer a phone appointment or an in-person appointment, you can call our records office at 215-746-7040 and ask to schedule time with Kathy Urban. Well, thanks everyone. If you have additional questions, please feel free to email us at lps@sas, and we're happy to answer them. Have a good night.